Today, I want to start out in a little bit of a quadricep stretch. So this is usually pretty tight for most of us. So you might want to have some blankets or a block. So we're going to come into our hero pose. I'm going to show it backwards here. So knees are going to be together. And then you're going to take your block. Edges of the feet come to the outer edge of the block. And you're going to sit back. So you may not need a block here if you're a little more open. In the hip flexors, the quadriceps, you might be able to sit back between your feet. You might just need a little height, like a blanket. You might need a couple of blocks. So find the place where it's, just not absolutely excruciating. Firm your feet against the outer edges of the block. Feel your inner thighs roll down. And then sit nice and tall here, so shoulders stacking over your hip bones, and you can just rest your hands on your thighs. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep inhale. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. Do that a couple more times. Nice, smooth, deep inhale. Exhale, let the breath go. Maybe find a little more release in the front of the leg. Easier said than done, I know. This is intense for most of us. And then one more deep inhale. Sigh the breath out, ha. And then just drop into a nice, quiet rhythm with your breath here. So inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose, just setting the tone at the beginning of class, inviting this quiet in. Paying attention to how things are feeling, noticing if there's spots where we're gripping that we don't need to, softening in those places. Just following that rhythm of your breath. You might get distracted by other sounds happening, thoughts in your head. That's okay too. When you notice that your attention has wandered, come back to your breath, come back to the sensations in your body. Feel lots of length on your inhale. It's like you're growing taller. Good. A nice deep inhale through your nose. Full complete exhale through your nose. Gently blink your eyes open. Inhale, stretch your arms out wide. Let's give ourselves a little hug here. So keep shoulders stacking over sit bones. We're going to take right arm on top. So elbows stack. And then just start to lift them up. If it's accessible in your body, you can bring the backs of the hands together. Maybe press palms together. Then we're going to lift elbows up wherever you're at. Feel your belly pull in. Try not to overarch in your lumbar as you exhale. Just release the arms down. So feeling a little stretch across the backs of the shoulders. Inhale, lifting up. It might not be very high at all. Exhale, release down. Let's do one more. Inhale, lift up. Good. Exhale, release down. And then let's inhale. Stretch the arms out. Take a couple of breaths here. Feel the shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other on the center of your back. Feel that openness across your heart and chest. Deep inhale. Squeeze the block a little more with your feet. And then as you exhale, left arm comes on top. So same thing. This side might feel a little different. Elbows stack. And hands can be holding onto your shoulders. Backs of the hands can press. Maybe you can press your palms together. They're all good places to be. Inhale. Start to lift up. So elbows towards ceiling, exhale, release down. Keeping your spine nice and even, so it's not doing anything here. We're just moving the shoulders. Inhale up. Exhale, lower down. One more. Inhale, slowly lifting. Exhale, release down. Good, and then inhale, stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, come on down. Come to a little tabletop, and you're gonna just wanna wiggle your ankles behind you. So there's a lot of pressure on them, that pose that we were just in. Big stretch there. And actually, let's go ahead and just stretch our toes out a little bit today. So we've done the hard part of stretching out the quadriceps. Now let's get into the toes. So again, knees can be together. You're gonna curl your toes under, and then you're gonna sit down on your heels. And we're not gonna hold this as long as we were in our hero's pose, thankfully. It is gonna feel very intense in your feet, in your toes. Back out a little bit if you need to. Stay here if you can. What's going on with your breath? Are you clenching your face, your jaw at all? Just be serene. Good, one more deep inhale. We made it. As we exhale, we come on out. And then again, circle the ankles a few times each direction. And then find your tabletop here. All right, so as you inhale, let's lift right leg, left arm. Exhale, release down. So you're engaging your core, outer hip squeeze in. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Release down. Couple more to each side like that. Inhale. Right leg, left arm. Getting as long as you can. Exhale, you release. Good. Inhale, left leg, right arm. This looks really nice. Release down. One more to each side, moving with your breath. We meet back in our tabletop when we're done with left leg, right arm lifting. All right, so just keeping your gaze an inch or two in front of your fingertips. Belly is pulling in and up as you inhale, right leg, left arm reach. Imagine that somebody is gently pulling back on your ankle and then pulling forward. Another somebody is pulling forward on your wrist. So you're getting that nice tractioning apart. Notice if that right hip starts to lift up. You can stay here like this, maybe bend your right knee. Reach around with that left hand, find the foot, find the ankle, and when you get it, kick that foot into your hand. So you're gonna feel that stretch again on that hip flexor quadricep, that lifted leg, right leg. Make sure right shoulder is over right wrist. Start to spin your right ribs to the left any amount. So there's a little twist here too, little back bend, little balance. A lot of things going on. Are you breathing? Nice work. Gracefully, serenely, lengthen back out. Nice. As you exhale, release down. And here we go to our second side. So as you inhale, think lots of length. How long can you get? Release that left hip down. So it's even with your right hip. Feel those outer hips squeeze in. Just imagine that you're being tractioned apart here. Pull belly button towards those back ribs. Hold on to all of those feelings. Start to bend. Left knee if you would like to. You can just stay in the extension. Maybe reach back. See if you can find the foot. So again, just getting into that hip flexor quadricep on the left side. Lean this right shoulder back. Feel your left shoulder stacking over your left wrist. Maybe play with your gaze and really look at where, look at what's in front of you. See it, take it in. Breath smooth and steady. Good, inhale. We lengthen out, nice work. As you exhale, you release down. Walk your hands forward a couple of inches, curl your toes under. So keep a deep, deep bend in your knees. Just lift them up off the mat about an inch. And then stretch those sit bones up towards the ceiling. Keep that bend in your knees. Release your head down so your ears line up with your biceps. You're gazing between your feet. Keep your left knee bent as you exhale. Melt your right heel back towards the floor. So start stretching into the back of that leg. Couple breaths here. Pretty intense, nice stretch on the hamstring, the calf, behind the knee. Inhale back up to both tippy toes, that deep bend in your knees. Exhale, melt your left heel back. Breath smooth and steady, observing the sensations in your body. So getting really curious about all those things. Good, back up to both tippy toes on your inhale, that bend in your knees. And then as you exhale, start to gently melt both heels back. They're probably not going to go as far as they did one at a time. You may still keep a bend in your knees, especially if the hamstrings, the lower back are a little tighter. Good. Let's slowly start to walk our feet forward to meet our hands here. As you inhale, lengthen forward. Make sure that the weight is evenly distributed in your feet. As you exhale, fold in. Root down into your feet. Stretch arms out and up. Nice. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. A few half sun salutes just to start to coordinate movement and breath. Inhaling, reaching, extended mountain pose, Utthita Hastasana into Dasana. Exhale, gracefully hinge forward at your waist. Fold in. You could have that little bend in your knees here. Inhale, lengthen forward, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Exhale, fold back into your Uttanasana, your deep forward fold. Root down to rise up. Take up space as you rise up here. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. We have two more. Just moving with your breath. You can close your eyes here. We all meet back in our Tadasana pose. So enjoy these. Let them feel really good. Just kind of waking up the movement, waking up the breath here. Just noticing what's going on. Good, nice work. So if you have blocks or books, maybe just have them set up at the top of your mat. You may or may not need them. And then we're just going to add on here. So as you inhale, arms are reach out and up. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Keep your right foot forward, step your left knee way back. And then lower down onto that knee. So feet should be hips distance apart. Good, and this is where you might want to have blocks. So you can slide that left knee back as far as that hip flexor in your body allows. So big stretch there on the top of the leg. And this can be really intense. So blocks are nice. They bring the floor a little bit closer. You can change the height. If this is a little easier, by all means, be on your fingertips or on your palms. Good, let's bring our hands to that right knee. Direct your tailbone down. Feel your shoulders stacking over those hip bones. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Good, as you exhale, hands come down to the mat. Curl your left toes under. As we exhale, let's step our left foot to meet our right foot, the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold in. Pressing into your feet, stretching arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Inhale, reach. As you exhale, fold in, feel those inner thighs, spiral back, sit bones reach up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen. So keep this feeling of openness across your heart as you step your right foot way back. Land on that knee. So again, feet are hips distance apart, so you're giving yourself a little room here, and then you're sliding your right knee back as far as you need to feel that stretch. You can always pad up that back knee a little bit too, especially if it's a little tender. And then again, hands on blocks, or you can have fingertips or palms on the floor. How does this side compare in your body? Does it feel about the same? Is it a little tighter? So a little easier noticing. And just kind of finding this preliminary hip flexor stretch. We've actually done a few already. All right. So hands come up to your left thigh, tall through the sides of your waist. Inhale, reaching arms out and up. Beautiful. As you exhale, hands release down, curl your right toes under, step your right foot to meet your left foot. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Press down into your feet, stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Good. As we inhale, arms reach. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest lengthens forward. Keep the left foot forward this time. Step the right foot way back. Keep those toes curled under. Find a little bend in the knee. Inhale, rise up. Full crescent pose. Good. Take an exhale. And then inhale. Firm both legs to straight. Right hip forward, left hip back. Belly pulls in. Exhale, bend both knees. Inhale, slowly press legs to straight. Good. Exhale, sink in. So option to keep this right knee bent. Definitely keep this left knee bent. Maybe start to straighten that right leg. Again, you're gonna feel that nice, intense stretch on that right hip flexor. Maybe feel this lift of your sternum up towards the ceiling. Gaze up, press palms together. As you exhale, hands come down to the mat. Keep gazing forward, keep your hips as slow. Step to your plank pose. Take a nice deep inhale here, legs really active. And then shift forward on toes. We're gonna lower down to our belly. You might come to your knees. All right, tops of the feet press. Good, fingertips are in line with your shoulder heads. As you inhale, coil, head, chest up. As you exhale, lower down. Inhaling up, Bhujangasana, low cobra. So we're generating this work from our lower back. Exhale, come on down. Inhale up, nice work. Good, as you exhale, lower down. This time, inhale up. Good, so option to stay here. If you're ready for an up dog, drag your hands back a little further, wrists under elbows. So staying here in low cobra, or inhaling, pressing into your hands, bringing your arms to straight. Firming up the legs. So really press to the outer edge of the foot. Feel those inner thighs spiral up. Press the shoulder heads back. And then from here, you make your way back to your downward facing dog. Nice work. As you inhale, you're gonna lift your right leg up. As you exhale, step that foot through. Keep a little bend in your left knee, feet are hips distance apart. Inhale, rise up, crescent pose. You take an exhale here. And then inhale, right hip back. I might have done the same side, so we're gonna have to double up on the other one. Exhale, sink in. Good, inhale, straighten. No, this is right. As you exhale, sink in. I'm just having a Zoom yoga moment. Inhale, press up. Good, exhale, sink in. So stay here. Option this time to start to straighten that left leg. Good, and then maybe feel your heart starts to lift up. Press palms together. As you exhale, hands come down to the mat. Step your left foot to meet your right foot. Inhale, chest lengthens. Exhale, fold in. Pressing into your feet, stretching arms out and up. Nice work. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Classic sun salute here. Inhale, arms reach out and up. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Bend your knees, plant your palms, step your right foot way back, then your left foot. Shift forward on toes, maybe come to knees, lower halfway, hover, or all the way down. Nice, Pamela. Inhale, low cobra or upward facing dog. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Few breaths, check in. So make any little adjustments that you need to. Again, check to see that your feet are hips distance apart. Maybe glance between your hands, they're shoulders distance apart. Fingers are spreading gently, pressing. And then start to firm those forearms in towards each other. Really feel the muscle firm to the bone, especially in your upper arms. As you inhale, a little bend in your knees, come to your tippy toes. End of your exhale, lightly hop through, walk forward or step right then left. Nice. As you inhale, chest lengthens. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, press down into your feet, stretch arms out and up. Good. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. So just standing here in your mountain pose, start to root into your left foot. Feel your lower belly pull in and up, and then we're going to start to bend our right knee. Good, and then so your palm is facing in, just reach down, grab the outer edge of the foot. And then just staying upright here today, use the leverage of your arm to start to press your left or your right heel closer to your right buttock. So you're going to feel this big stretch, again on the hip flexor. Notice if that left shoulder is dipping down, press it back. Definitely a little balance work happening here, so feel those outer hips squeeze in to give you a little support. Ooh, I think I might sneeze. Excuse me. Sneeze and balance. All right, deep inhale. Exhale, release that side. All right, so put your brain down in that right foot. Feel that hip squeeze in. Just start to bend that knee. And then reach back. Grab that outer foot. And then just staying nice and upright here. Use the leverage of your hand to start to bring that left heel closer to your left glute. You can just imagine that you're close to wall, so shoulder heads are pressing back evenly. Couple more breaths. You can sneeze on this side too if you want to even it out. Good deep inhale. Exhale, release. Just give the legs a little walk out. Good work. All right. As we inhale, arms reach out and up. As we exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Bend your knees, plant your palms, take your left foot back, then your right foot. Inhaling here in plank. And then exhale, shift forward, lower chaturanga, hover or come all the way down. Inhale into your low cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, press back into your downward facing dog. Good, and then let's inhale, lift our right leg up. Exhale, step that foot through. Again, land on that left knee. And then let's take both hands to the inside of that right foot. So again, this might be a really good place to have blocks for your hands. You can turn those toes out, right toes out about 10 degrees. And then slide your left knee back. So just kind of getting into that hip flexor a little more. You're also going to feel this in the right groin. It's okay if that right knee comes off to the side a little bit. You might be able to work down to your forearms, so that's an option. And then perhaps you play with bending your left knee. You might have to come back up to your hand. See if you can find the foot. Good. And then again, just open up a little bit. So spin those left ribs to the right. I'm going to come at this from a different angle just in case you need to see it. Yeah, you got it, Pamela. Few more breaths. All right, so nice and easy. If you are in, if you've grabbed your foot, just release. And then heel toe that right foot back in. So frame your hands on either side of that right foot. Curl your left toes under. So keep that leg nice and straight, nice and firm. Lift your belly up off your thigh and then stretch your arms forward. Good, so legs really strong, really firm into that back heel. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart. Inhale, rise up, full crescent pose. Notice how this left hip flexor is starting to open up. And then as we exhale, hands come down to the mat. Your option. You can start skipping these chaturanga vinyasas. You can always skip those. So you could step back to downward facing dog. If you want a little more heat, you're always welcome to do these vinyasas as well. Mixing and matching as feels good in your body. And then let's inhale, lift our left leg. Exhale, step that foot through. Land on your right knee. Maybe you need to pat it up a little bit and then walk this left foot off to the left a little bit. Turn the toes out to about 10, 15 degrees. And then melt in here. So definitely gets into a different spot in that right hip flexor. You're gonna feel this in the groin, maybe the left glute a little bit. You're welcome to come down to forearms on blocks. You could actually have your hands on blocks too if you need to back out of this. So that previous adjustment works as well. Okay, if you would like to start to bend your right knee, so keep pressing down into that right hand. We're just finding a little twist here. This is like the more challenging version of what we did in our tabletop. And then that same idea applies, just using that strength of your left arm. You're trying to bring your right heel closer to your right buttocks. Breath smooth and steady. Really nice work. This is intense, I know. Good, one more deep inhale. Exhale, nice and easy. Just release out of this. Walk that left foot back to the right. Plant your palms on either side of that foot. Curl your right toes under. And then come up onto your fingertips here. Firm your belly. Inhale, stretch your arms up by your ears. So a lot of extension. Hold on to all of that as you peel your chest up into your crescent pose. Nice work. As you exhale, hands come down to your mat. Downward dog or plank pose. Chaturanga vinyasa. So as we potentially start to get a little tired here, sometimes the vinyasas can look a little sloppy. So check in, make sure that you're really engaging legs, firming muscle to bone, being really distinct about each pose, maybe making the decision to modify or skip. All right, so from here, we're gonna inhale, take a little bend in the knees, come to the tippy toes. End of your exhale, lightly spring forward or step left then right. Walk forward, lots of options. Inhale, chest lengthens. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, press down into your feet. Stretch your arms out and up. Good. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Oh, it just started snowing outside. Oh. All right. So as you inhale, knees bend this time. Arms reach up. Utkatasana, chair pose. Couple of breaths here. So weight is in the heels. You're feeling your lower belly pull in and up. Arms can be slightly forward. They can also be out wide. Whatever helps you to bring your arms to straight. Definitely this can be really intense in the shoulders in addition to many other places. One more deep inhale. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Good, inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Bend your knees, plant your palms, right foot back, then left foot. On this exhale, strong legs carry you through this chaturanga vinyasa, or you pull back to your downward facing dog. Nice work. As we inhale, right leg lifts. Good. As you exhale, step that foot through. Okay, we're gonna inhale. First of all, blocks are probably already at the top of your mat, but just adjust some. As you inhale, arms reach up. Good, so we're in our crescent pose. Okay, we're gonna heel toe, right foot to the left twice. Spin into the back edge of that left foot, open up our arms, Virabhadrasana 2. So nice hip opener here. First time kind of getting into the hips today. All right, let's inhale, press that front leg to straight. Arms reach up overhead. Good, exhale, sink in. Good, this time, right leg stays like this. Flip your right palm up, inhale. Find your reverse warrior. Take an exhale. And then inhale, start to press that front leg to straight. So feel all this length on that right side. We're gonna transition into our triangle pose. Hold on to this feeling for as long as you can as you start to shift your hips off to the left. When you can't reach any further, you can bring your hand to your thigh, shin, or block. Good, shoulder blades stack on top of each other. It's like your torso is this parallelogram. Feel this inner right leg pressing towards that inner left thigh. Sealing into the back edge of the left foot as you press into the inner edge of the right foot. Good, and then spin your right palm to face behind you. So externally rotating. Bend that elbow. And you can bring your hand to your back here, or you can bring your fingertips to that right thigh. So just finding a little leverage point so you can press that left shoulder head back. Pretty intense stretch in the shoulders. So keep that breath moving. All right, we're gonna transition into our Artichandrasana. Option to stay here in the wrap to do this. Otherwise, just bring your left hand to your left hip if you're a little newer to this. Bend that right knee, walk your block forward about a foot. Good, step that back foot in, or maybe you can just simply lift up. Flex the foot as active, it's pointing forward. Open up your heart again, spin that chest up towards the ceiling, and then let's all open up here. Okay, so just staying like this, gaze probably somewhere soft in front of you. The only thing that changes is we bend that left knee. So exhale, bend. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Nice. Inhale, extend. This time, exhale, bend. Stay here. We've done this a lot today. See if you can find that foot with your left hand, and then if you get it, kick that foot into your hand. Feel that stretch on that left hip flexor. Good work. If you fall out, it's no big deal. It's only yoga. Okay, so we're gonna lengthen back out into Artichandrasana here. Good, we're gonna unwind. So this is where hands on blocks is really nice. So we're squaring our hips. Those left toes are pointing down towards the mat. Nice work. Deep inhale. Exhale, curl in, knee to nose. Good. Inhale, lengthen that leg back, a little core. Exhale, curl in, knee to nose, get into a tight little ball. Good. Inhale, stretch that leg back. One more. Exhale, curl in, knee to nose. Inhale, stretch that leg back. Start to bend your right knee a lot. So we're gonna find our crescent pose again. Lightly touch that left foot down. Beautiful work. Inhale, rise up. Crescent pose. As you exhale, hands come down to the mat. That was a nice, long little sequence. So if you want a chaturanga vinyasa, take one. Otherwise, just pull back to downward facing dog. Maybe take an inhale through your nose and then open your mouth. Sigh the breath out. Ha. All right. So taking that to the second side. As you inhale, your left leg lifts. Exhale, step that foot through. Okay, so keep those right toes curled under. Strong legs carry you up. Crescent pose, hips are facing forward. We're gonna change that. Heel toe, left foot to the right twice. Open up that back leg. So this right hip is releasing down. Release your arms out to the side. Virabhadrasana 2. Press this left knee back a lot. Strong legs. Inhale. Bring that front leg to straight. Arms come up overhead. Good, exhale. Sink in, flip your left palm up. Inhale, legs stay exactly like this. Find your reverse warrior. Good, take an exhale. And then inhale, press to the inner edge of that left foot. Bring that leg to straight. So our legs are in triangle pose here. And then feel all of this length on the left side. We want to hold on to that as we start to shift hips off to the right and lengthen into our triangle pose. So when it feels like you can't get any longer through that left side of your waist, hand to thigh or shin or block. Shoulder blades stack on top of each other here to start. Neck is just a nice extension of your spine here. So sometimes we can lean it back or it can drop forward. So just keeping everything in alignment. Okay, so spin that right palm to face behind you, bend the elbow so the back of the hand can come to your back any place. You're just getting a little leverage to press that right shoulder head back. You might be able to get your fingertips to the inner thigh. A lot of that has to do with just how you're built. So if you have monkey arms like me, I make that look easy. If your arms are a little shorter, it just might not be in the cards. You're still doing yoga. It still counts. You're still a good person. And you're breathing. Noticing how this side feels. Okay, so we're going to transition this into our Artichandrasana. If you've been doing this a while, play with staying in the wrap. Just challenge yourself a little bit. It doesn't have to look pretty. If you're a little newer, hand is going to come to the hip. All right, so keep your chest open. Just bring your gaze down. Start to bend that left knee. Walk your block forward about a foot. Good. And then activate this right leg. Lift from the inseam. You can step that foot in if you need to. Good. Eventually free that arm. So we've taken triangle pose and turned it on its side. So it obviously feels a little different. Breath is smooth and steady. Maybe smile a little bit because it's fun. All right, deep inhale here. Exhale, bend right knee. Good. Inhale, lengthen that leg out. Good. Exhale. The only thing changing is that knee is bending. Inhale, stretch out. And then exhale, bend the knee here. Reach back with your right hand. See if you can find the edge of that foot. Ooh. Good. Kick that foot into your hand and lean that right shoulder head back. That same feeling that we had in the wrap. Make sure that your left shoulder blade is squeezing in too. And then just smile because you're doing it and it looks good. It feels good. All right, here we go. We're going to inhale. Stretch back out, Artichandrasana. We're going to unwind. So right hand comes down to that second block, or fingertips can be on the floor. Square your hips. So they've been open. They're squaring again. They're both facing down towards the floor. Gaze slightly forward. Deep inhale. Exhale, curl in knee to nose. Good. Inhale, lengthen out. It's even a little of that cow sensation. It's kind of like a cat-cow here. Exhale. Come into the cat stretch. Inhale, lengthen out. Good. Exhale, curl in. All right. Inhale, stretch out. Start to bend your left knee a lot. Nice and gentle. Touch right toes down. Inhale. Rise up, crescent pose. And then as we exhale, hands come down to the mat. Your choice, Chaturanga Vinyasa, or pull back, downward facing dog. When you make your way back to your downward facing dog, take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. Good work. So, as you inhale, shift forward into your plank pose. Good, and then we're gonna slowly lower down to our belly. We're gonna do a little belly back bending here, which should feel pretty good because we've done all of this quadricep opening, so front of the leg. So let's go ahead and come into our Sphinx pose to begin. So land with your shoulders over your elbows, just rooting down into your forearms. Then it just feels like you're gonna slide the mat back towards your feet. So shoulder heads are really pressing back. Activate the feet. So really spread the toes and press into the toenails. That's going to turn the legs on a little more. And then play with this here. So this might be plenty. Maybe you start to press into your palms. Keep the elbows squeezing in. Start to straighten your arms. Keep rooting down into your hip bones, your pubic bone. And then nice and gentle, let's just look out over our right shoulder. Good, come back to center. And then as you exhale, you look out over your left shoulder. Have you all seen that like viral video of that Spanish dude doing yoga with his little dog, and him and the dog do this together? They look over one shoulder than the other. It's amazing. I need to send that all to everybody. All right, as we exhale, we lower down. Just make a little pillow with your hands. Turn your cheeks to one side. Waggle your hips back and forth. Turn your cheek to the other side. Good, and then just release your arms by your side. So palms are gonna face in towards each other. Come onto your forehead. Good, anchor down into your feet. Press into all 10 toenails. Even try to spread your toes. Feel the shoulder blades releasing down. So you anchor into your feet as you inhale, head, chest, arms, lift up off the mat. You don't have to throw your head back a lot here. Sometimes that gives us a sense of having back bend. Neck is just front of the neck, back of the neck, pretty nice and even. Maybe you start to lift your feet up. Good, one more deep inhale. Exhale, release down. All right, so if you do have a block, we're gonna take the block between our feet, so it's gonna go the long way. So you're gonna bend. So it's gonna kind of be that same setup that we had where we were squeezing the block earlier, our very initial pose. If you don't have one, don't worry about this. Just kind of pretend that you have one. So feet are staying hip distance apart. If you have one, it's just kind of a nice little variation here. All right, so again, arms by your side. And you're bending the knees so the tops of the thighs are down on the mat. Good, as you inhale, keep the thighs pressing down. Head and chest lift, arms lift up off the mat. Nice, Pamela. Okay, so this is really, really, really hard. But if you've got that block, you're gonna see if you can lift up your thighs. I can only get like the bottom part. It's much, much trickier. All right, and then keep bending. Reach back with your hands. Find the outer edges of your feet. Yeah. Oh, you got it. Good, we're gonna release down and we're gonna try that without the block, which is gonna make it so much easier. But then we're gonna hold on to the same ideas. So a lot of times when we come into our Artichandrasana, our bow pose, the legs like to splay out really far. So we wanna keep them about hips distance apart, maybe even a little closer. All right, so we're gonna rest on our forehead, arms by our side. Start to bend, legs here, and then reach back. Grab the outer edges of your feet. Feel the shoulder heads lift before we've even lifted anything else up. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, come into your bow pose. Keep squeezing the knees in towards each other. Looks really, really good. And it's really, really hard. This is not an easy pose. Let's just be here another breath or two. Maybe see if you can like just lift the thought higher. Good, as you exhale, release down. Keep your knees bent and then just windshield wiper your legs back and forth. All right, release your legs back, nice and easy. Press up, and then just come into a child's pose. And you're gonna find after all of that back bending, you're gonna start to get this release in the lumbar. You might not be able to go into your deepest child's pose here. It might take several breaths to kind of work into that. So don't force anything. You can always rest your head on a blanket or a block. You can waggle the hips back and forth a little bit here from side to side. Just taking a few breaths, starting to switch gears. So we've had a pretty energetic practice. Those belly back bends are very invigorating and challenging. We're going to start to move in the opposite direction now. All right, so we're going to come on up. I want to come into a nice little hip opener on both sides, and then a restorative pose to end class. So I'm going to give you your choice today. If you'd like to practice single pigeon, you're welcome to do that. So most of us know this configuration. Right leg will come forward, left leg will slide back. This might feel really nice because we have done all of this hip flexor opening today. You can always slide a blanket or a block underneath that right glute. The other option would be to cross your right shin in front of your left shin. So your Sukhasana, or you can stack shins on top of each other, taking a forward fold. Finally, you could be doing your single pigeon, or your reclining pigeon rather, on your back. So right ankle crosses above left knee. You could stay here like this. If you're newer to yoga, this is a really great place to be. If you want to go a little further, bend that left knee in. Interlace fingers either around the shin or a thigh. Again, sometimes that's just a function of how long your limbs are. And we're going to be here like a minute and a half on each side. So know that you have time to melt into the pose. You don't have to like hit the peak of it right at the beginning. And that being said too, if you're in deep, if at any point it feels like, this is starting to feel a little too intense, you just back out. Sometimes it's hard to move in that direction, but there's a lot of wisdom in modifying and backing off, doing less. Get a few more good breaths here. Good. So whatever variation you're in, you just start to make your way out. And then we set up for the second side. So if you're in your single pigeon, sometimes it can feel nice to pull back to downward facing dog. Open up that right hip. If you're in Sukhasana, just extend legs to straight and then recross with left shin in front. And of course, if you're on your back, just switch sides. And going into the second side, just know that it can feel a lot different. It might be easier, it might be tighter. Sometimes we need a different variation altogether. That's also acceptable. And then just slowly starting to melt your way in. Several good breaths in this pose. Notice if your attention wanders here when you come into these intense, long-held stretches. Maybe your brain starts saying mean things. When is this going to get easier? Why am I not getting this? Let that go. And just be okay with where you're at. Couple more breaths. All right, so we're gonna start to make our way out of the side. If you're on your back, you can just hug knees into your chest. Again, if you're doing your single pigeon and you wanna do that little three-legged dog variation, that can feel nice. Double pigeon, extend your legs to straight, give them a little shake out. And then I want to set up for a supported Shavasana. I didn't warn you guys about this, so you can do classic Shavasana if you don't have props handy. But if you do have like either a cushion from a couch or a yoga bolster, that might be nice to lay on today. So I'm going to use just a couple of blankets. And then also sliding something under your knees. So I'm going to use my blocks. So just we're going to get a little more opening, and then we're going to do a little pranayama too, just a little breath work. And then we'll make our way into our final resting pose. So take your time setting this up. Another good variation, if you're close to a couch, you could be laying on your back, just take your legs up on the couch, or you could take your legs up a wall too, that would work. And then we're gonna lay back. You might need a little support for your head, so kind of gauge it so that the breath feels nice and easy. Open up your arms. So with the support underneath us, it's really nice. We can start to feel the shape of those props. Find a little more space in the upper chest. And let's just do a couple rounds of our Varloma breath here. So this is our 3-part breath where we retain the breath on the inhale. So we pause and hold it. So I'm going to walk you through this first round. So we're going to take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Full, complete exhale through the nose. Completely empty out, pause at the bottom, lower belly pulls in and up. And then inhale 1/3 of the way up to your belly button, pause the breath. Inhale another 1/3 of the way, so you're gonna breathe up to those floating ribs, those lower ribs, pause the breath. Inhale all the way up underneath your collarbones. Do so without getting tension in your body. So you feel that lift of sternum up towards the ceiling. Breath is paused. And then slowly exhale the air out through your nose. Turn it around. When you reach the bottom, just take a couple recovery breaths. So anytime we're doing this pranayama, it's really good for helping to strengthen the lungs. That being said, some days it can feel really challenging. So if you feel like you need to breathe at any point, you do that. I also want you to notice this next round. Does your body tense up when you come into those holds? Can you keep this sense of openness and relaxation? So let's take a deep inhale together. Full, complete exhale. Pause at the bottom, empty out. Inhale up 1/3 of the way, pause the breath. Inhale up another 1/3 of the way. Pause the breath. Inhale all the way up underneath your collarbones. Pause. And then slowly exhale the air out through your nose. Returning to normal breathing, letting go of any sense of having to control the breath at this point. So starting to melt into this supported Shavasana. Do a little scan of your body. Make sure that you're not gripping or holding anywhere. So you feel super relaxed. Bones are heavy. Skin, muscles are melting off the bones. And finally, just giving yourself permission not to worry about anything just yet. Soak up these final moments of your yoga practice. Let your next inhale be deeper. Open your mouth, let the breath go. Ha. Wiggle fingers, toes. Circle ankles, wrists. Maybe reach your arms up overhead. And so just bringing some gentle movement back to your body. And then staying soft and quiet, just roll off your props to one side or the other. Find the fetal position. You're going to use your hands to help you press up to a comfortable seat. I'm going to check in one final time. Just notice how you feel differently than when we started. And soak up all of these good sensations, these good feelings you've created. Send yourself love and gratitude for making the effort, for showing up. And finally, just promise yourself that you're going to carry a little of this peaceful feeling with you into the rest of the day, the rest of the week ahead. Bring your palms together at your heart and bow your head with a smile. Really good work today, everybody. Thank you.